It's easy, why dumping on it.
The Chinese Communist Party has a new excuse for targeting Christians.
Now, under this pretext of COVID-19 coronavirus, the Chinese Communist Party has intensified its persecution by banning all the church activities, even those services or worship or prayer meetings in believers' own homes with their own family members.
July 22, 2020, a loud knock on the door at the home of a woman in China's Yamen City. She tells the police outside they cannot enter her home without a permit. Moments later, they destroy the lock and enter anyway, breaking up what the government says is an illegal meeting. Fu says it's all part of President Xi Jinping's campaign of sinicization, which means Christians are only considered to be good citizens if they adhere to communist ideology.
Well, Gary, tell us about the churches that are being targeted by the government and individual families and other small gatherings. What are you hearing about that?
Well, you saw the video of them storming into that woman's home. That was back in July as the PSB, Public Security Bureau, did that. This is a regular occurrence. This happens if Christians meet in homes and the gathering gets to be about 50 or more. That's when the Chinese Communist Party becomes worried because they're unsure what people are gathering for. They want them to be loyal to the state and not to the Bible and to God. Government-sanctioned church in China's Wenzhou City. Their mission? Toppling a cross from the roof of a church building for a second time. They'd removed the cross 7 years earlier, but church members replaced it. Bob Fu is with China Aid, a group that helps China's persecuted Christians.
That city alone, we have documented over 1,600 churches with their crosses were being burnt, destroyed, and destructed. And many pastors, were even detained, imprisoned.
China's Christians say it's the worst persecution against them since Chairman Mao Zedong. I think the bigger concern is with the Early Rain Covenant Church. Now, 2 years ago, there was a major raid. Over 100 Christians were arrested. Wang, who was the pastor there, was sentenced to 9 years in prison. That happened in 2018, just before Christmas. And the bigger concern right now is they're not out of the woods yet. They're still going in and harassing these leaders of the Early Rain Covenant Church. Some of them have been forcibly removed from their homes. There have been pressures put on landlords to pull their leases. Others have had utilities shut off, and they're freezing and dealing with candlelight rather than light.
他根本无法再问我话了，除非他打我，除非他把我抓起来。所以我跟他来讲就很清楚，我今天进来就不想出去了。你们除非判我的刑，除非逮捕我。这个话一说出来，没有任何的退路，我就发现这个提高了你在肉身上的危险程度。你带上女孩子，是的，我不需要。你是长发还是带口罩？有没有带口罩？反正有了，有了。什么？在哪里？我没看到，我什么都没看到。不是，你举这个意义不大。我们现在，你们是什么情况？你们把人带到哪里了？告诉我，我是妻子。你们要把我丈夫带到哪里？请告诉我。请告诉我。市公安局。什么？市公安局。现在带到市公安局不要用了。刚才你们私闯民宅。这个是我。私闯民宅把我丈夫带走。我就以妨碍公务带你走了。我什么是公务？我的弟兄都已经被带走了。我听清楚了吗？你们是在执法吧？听清楚没有？我听清楚。请你放下你的手机。我现在请问你，我的丈夫到哪里去？我告诉你了，我们在执。
It's easy, why dumping on it.